most recent national poll between Joe Biden and Donald Trump coming out of this weekend has Donald Trump up by 1 point. But I want to compare swing states, basically. I want to talk about the swing states, talk about how Joe Biden is doing the swing states, and importantly, compare how he's doing to how Democratic Senate candidates are doing. So if you look at some of the most recent swing states, here we have Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Trump is doing very well with a 2, 3, 4, 5, 7-point lead across these different states. And so, the amount of the lead varies state to state, but Trump is up in all of these states. Meanwhile, in Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the Democratic Senate candidates are doing much better. They're all up, including by even bigger numbers. So the smallest lead there is 7 points. You have 9 and you have 12 in Pennsylvania. There's only one state, let's see, Georgia, that you can see here. Well, we'll turn to that, I apologize. We'll turn to Georgia in a bit, but so look, Senate races are their own thing individually. They don't necessarily all work in tandem, but you see all of these states where Biden is down, but another Democrat is up. Do you think that should scare people in particular about what effect Biden is having on the race?
It should, because that's sort of why you poll this stuff, especially leading into a conversation about whether or not the candidate should remain at the top of the ticket. So I think it's totally appropriate to have that conversation when you look at these polls. It also tells you that the fact is, if you buy these polls, that Democrats are actually doing pretty well, but it's the top of the ticket that isn't. I think that notion means that there are people who are Democrats who are not supporting Joe Biden. And that's what you can pull and glean from this. And I think that's important. I think the people that make these decisions on the candidate should pay attention to this.
Yeah, and look, I'll close by saying it really does look like the plan or the super friends or whatever the strategy was to replace Joe Biden it doesn't look like it's going to work. We'll see. We'll report as developments happen. But as of right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be a new candidate. It looks like it's going to be the same candidate. That said, we're still going to give you the polls. I respect you enough as an audience to give you facts that might be inconvenient or might not be what you want to see. But I would also say that theoretically, if you do believe that November is likely to go in one way, well then maybe, despite the fact that it is a difficult Senate map for the Democrats, it seems like the last 5 have been.
Yeah, they always tend to be, right?
What are they always? Well, then in theory, maybe there'll be divided government. We don't know for sure, but it is possible, and that would limit to some extent the ability of a new president to radically change things or put literally anyone they want on the Supreme Court. If you don't want to see Justice Bongino or something, well, then the Democrats maintaining a hold on the Senate would be something.
Yeah, and the Democrats need to articulate this to voters and with their candidates too. I mean, that's what one of the arguments. Joe Biden said he's going to listen. I don't agree with you that it's a done deal that Biden's going to be the candidate. I don't know if you think that's the case. I don't think anything has changed other than an appropriate timeout for conversation about the race after the opponent was the victim of an assassination attempt. So I honestly think that he will not be. I mean, that's my prediction, that he will not be.
Is it 51% chance he isn't, or is it 80% chance he isn't?
I would say it's 56%. I'll go 56%. But I only say that because I don't fall for the fact that they've stopped this conversation. They stopped this conversation because they should have. It's respectful to stop it. If Democrats were focused only on their race, then that would have been in such poor taste after what happened Saturday. Give the Republicans their convention, give them their week. The Democrats are going to have theirs in August, and there's plenty of time. There's going to be an uncomfortable month between Friday when this thing is over and everybody gets on planes until the Democrats start their thing. It's going to be an uncomfortable month for the Democrats, but they're going to pay attention a lot more to these polls. So I actually think that.
You have a lot more contacts amongst them than me.
I do, but this is more gut stuff, and this is more tea leaf stuff. So.
I will say that it might be an uncomfortable month for a lot of Democrats once Friday hits. I will be immediately way more comfortable for a variety of reasons.